update. It's the beginning of July. Here you can see the leftover onion sets. We've been harvesting them pretty heavy, but as you can tell, we still got a ways to go. Here's the pepper plants. They're really been zooming up. They're growing fast. This one here, there's something wrong with it. I almost should clip it off, but we'll see what happens. This little thing was struggling and struggling. Now it's starting to make some new leaves, but it's got a purple hot pepper. So I hope that it grows big and gives me lots of those. I like the looks of it. Cayenne. Both of these two. I got some yellow cayennes over here. This one I actually just planted. It billed itself as a mammoth hot pepper or something, and it was on clearance at Walmart and I had a spot. So I went and bought it, and then I clipped all the lower leaves off. It's been hot. This is the last of the radishes. We've been eating on those heavy. Gonna be time to pick those up pretty soon. The dill patch is really growing well, so I'm looking forward to harvesting some pickles and making some dill pickles. Cilantro for salsa. Here I got a test plot. I got 15 different varieties of radishes, fall radishes here, and you can see I got them marked. And some of them were pretty old. A couple of them were from 2006, and some from last year even. And I planted 10 seeds of each one. We're going to find out if they're still viable. It's a little early to plant fall. Well, it's not really early, but the time I like planting them is the first week of August. They're normally 60-day plants, and if you plant them the first week of August, well, guess what? You're picking them in October. And if you have a easy fall, you might be picking them in December. These are the sunrise berries. We've picked off about 20 of them so far. Let's see if I can find one. There's one right there. Hey, right there. They don't ripen all at once. A couple here, a couple there. Good. They're not really sweet, but they got a real nice flavor. Another one. The white stuff is diatomaceous earth. They were getting hammered by the bugs. And you see one in here now. I think that's a cucumber beetle. Oop, it dropped off. Ooh, a couple more here. Juicy. When you bite down on them, they just go burst in your mouth. Cucumbers. Ooh, Japanese beetle. Get him, get him, get him. Got him. Pretty sure that's a Japanese beetle. They got a weird smell when you squish them. It's a really sweet garlic. Getting close to being done. There's my black pearl, black crim. You see, we got a really nice big tomato coming here, right there. Look at that. It's got about a dozen tomatoes growing on it, but that's the biggest one. Cherokee purple. And this Mr. Stripey hasn't had a tomato on it yet, but it's getting more shade than the rest of them because of this apricot tree, so maybe that's it. But we do have some blossoms coming. Of course, we got companion plants here. We got basils, mints, bee balm. Here's some new trees I just bought on clearance. They were 75% off in a big box store. Got a crab apple. And 2 weeping cherries. These are only $15 a piece. So I'm not going to plant them tomorrow. It's going to be really hot tomorrow. It's supposed to cool off by Friday, so that's when I'm going to plant them. I'll just leave them here in the shade and keep them wet. Buckwheat. I got clover growing along with it. I planted 3 kiwis. These are self-pollinating. Just starting to make some new leaves. So I've got 3 of them here, and here's my trellis for the kiwis. They're supposed to grow 20 feet tall, so I have a trellis. Look at that. That should be against the law. I'm out of rain again, rainwater. I got 4 barrels. I got 2 here and 2 over by the shed, and everything empty. I emptied the last of them this morning, so now it's back to using city water. And our pepper plants. This is 100% compost here in this slot, and are they ever doing well? Thornless blackberries, just now starting to get purple. I seen the cardinal come over here and peck at one, so I don't know, the birds might get them before I do. We'll see. Here's our dry beans. These are Bartlett pear trees I bought as little bitty saplings. I tried to graft my big pear tree onto them this spring, but none of them took. And peas, corn, butternut squash, acorn squash, Mother Hubbard squash, more corn, climbing beans, planted amongst the corn. It's all doing really well. I got the bags hanging there. They flop around in the wind, and you'd think they'd scare some things away, like birds and whatever, but I think the birds get used to it after a while. These are blackberries. Not black raspberries, but blackberries. Planted a row of rutabagas and carrots in there, so they'll be October harvesting. This is a watermelon. Pumpkins. I gotta show you this leaf of this pumpkin. I like it. Look at that leaf. Got white veins. I'm gonna try to save some seeds from that, see if I can get them to come up. I've gotten 3 cucumbers off of this plant already. You can see some more are getting close. Drew some artichokes and asparagus. Got Joe Pye weed back in the corner over there, and comfrey. I think this is an Osage orange tree. I keep thinking I'm going to look it up and I forget. If anybody knows what this is, let me know. Just give me a note. Here's the bark. Kind of an orangish bark. Here are the leaves. That's got a big leaf. Yeah, that's part of the tree. Up on top there, smaller leaves. Here's my composting area. I got it on the north side of the shed so it doesn't get as much sun, because too much sun and heat will dry it out. And oh, we did have a little bit of rain this morning, so I guess I got some rain. I got some rainwater. How long do you think that's going to last? The onion patch. They're really starting to bulb up now. Let's see up there. I planted 180 onions. Ooh, that's one nice one there, huh? I got white, sweet, yellow, and 2 rows of red. Reds are smaller. This is my Roma tomato patch. There's 12 plants in here. Some of them were struggling for a while, but all of a sudden they all took root and they're going. And let me tell you, the peppers really like it back here. Planted those at the same time as one up at the house. You got a lot of companion plants in here: mints, basils, bee balm, anise hyssop. You see, we're getting some aromas forming. Getting close to the end. Here's my potato patch. I planted 5 varieties of potatoes in here. One just has a little short row here that's French fingerlings. I just got a pound of those. The rest of them I got 2.5 pounds. You got reds, whites, purples, different brands. You can see they're starting to come up. That was the very first one up. Here are the purples. Look at that. That purple or what? Gotta like that. In between the rows I planted buckwheat and clover. Now when these come up, I'm going to allow them to grow 6-7 inches high. Then I'm going to hole dirt up around them right up to the leaves. These might be the reds. And this buckwheat and clover is going to become food for the potatoes. I'm also going to put in a little bone meal, and I'm looking for some green sand. I haven't been able to find any around here. I got a batch of horseradish, and I had some artichokes left over from the stuff I purchased online. I'm planting them back here. This whole garden was nothing but catnip and goldenrod. You can see the middle of it is still. This is basically the whole garden was this. And I had garlic in here that got away on me, and it's competing here with the weeds. But I believe that this helped build up the soil tilth. You know, they died and their roots died, and I mean, did it for years, and added nutrients to the soil. Kind of like that, huh? And this is all garlic that was laid down here by seed, and I didn't plant it. It just all come up. I'm going to go ahead and harvest some tops here. I think I'm going to do it today yet, but they're really soft right now. Yeah, and I haven't decided if I'm going to dry them or I might pickle them. I ate a couple of them this morning. They're really good. They're actually kind of sweet. Of course, they do have that garlic twang to them, right? One more. This here is my patch of buckwheat. Again, below it is clover. I'm going to let this grow to maturation, and I'm believing the clover is going to make it through the winter and come up in the spring, and I'm going to till it under. And I'm not sure what I'm going to plant here yet, but it has to be a crop that deer will leave alone. That's outside the fence. Now here's the butt log from the weed tree I cut down that I'm going to use in my hugelkart. You can see the lines that I cut with the chainsaw. Well, I've got mushroom spores in cooking oil that I use as the chain lubricant, and those The theory is the spores inoculate the wood, and you're going to have mushrooms in the fall. Back here I've got 4 plants of Joe Pye weed. I want to establish a big Joe Pye weed colony back here. It gets kind of wet back here once in a while, and right now it's yarrow and goldenrod that basically has this spot. Well, goldenrod is good for honeybees, but Joe Pye weed lasts a lot longer, and it's a natural plant here. The goldenrod is, I think it's Canadian goldenrod. I don't believe that's a natural plant here. And there's one more thing to show you back here. This big ash tree was actually growing on the property behind, and it fell over. So all but the root structure now is on my property. So now this tree is mine. And I went ahead and cut that big limb off right there, and I cut it up, and I buried a series of them here, and I inoculated with mushroom spawn. And the mushroom spawn I'm using is oyster. So we'll see if that comes up. Be interesting. Certainly shady enough under there. This whole corner here, thinking about having a Joe Pye weed, and I'm looking at a couple other weeds that can compete with the Joe Pye weed. But Joe Pye weed lasts a long time in the fall. They give up a lot of nectar for the bees, and I might just leave that be the established plant here. But that's going to take a little time, a couple years. You can see I got tall fence here. It's a 6-foot fence, and I got a close mesh fence on the bottom, and you can see I bent it over. I keep the critters from digging underneath. But the little baby rabbits can hop right through this road, no problem whatsoever. Even the bigger ones seem to squeeze through it. You know, guess what? I can't do it anymore. But I do get when I have woodchucks around here, which I do once in a while, they're smart enough they actually can crawl through here and go down underneath the fence. They'll dig down there. So I'm going to take a piece of wire and just thread it through so that there's no access there. The whole fence. There's my wild grapevine. Actually, it's not a wild plant, it's a real tart blue one. Blue grape that I just had never trimmed. And look at all the grapes it has. They're smaller because I'm not trimming it, but I like all of these leaves here protecting it from the birds. And it's got a sour taste to it, and I kind of like that. I make jam out of it. I made some honey jam last year out of it. Oh, it was good. Got that sweet sour taste to it.